Hey y'all, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can take eggshells, yes, I'm saying eggshells, and turn them into a powerful calcium solution for your plants. This easy DIY not only prevents issues like blossom and rot, but it also strengthens plant growth. So stay tuned to learn how to make and use this natural garden booster. Let's get right to the video. All right, so the materials that you're gonna need is obviously your eggshells. You're gonna need vinegar. You can use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar. You're gonna need a grinder. You can also grind it like just by putting it on a plate and then putting another plate on top, like just crushing it with a plate on top. So you can do it that way, or you can use your hands. I just prefer to use a coffee grinder. And then you're gonna need a lid or a lid. You're gonna need a container or jar with a lid, or it can be like a breathable cover. So these are the materials that you're gonna need to make your calcium solution slash calcium powder. You can make it as a solution by mixing it with the vinegar, or you can make it as a powder. I'm gonna show you guys how to make the solution, but I'm not gonna use the solution right away. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make the powder and I'm gonna store it in this jar. All right, let's get right to it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to prepare the eggshells by rinsing them off thoroughly. Yeah, I'm going to rinse it off first before I throw it in the oven. I like to put it in the oven just to bake it for maybe 10-15 minutes, so that way it can kill off any pathogens, bacteria, salmonella, and all that stuff. But I am going to be washing out the eggshells thoroughly because you see it has the yolk residue. So I am going to be washing that out first before I put it in the oven. Now, when you're washing it, do not, and I repeat, do not wash it with soap. Water is just fine. So, you know what? I shouldn't be throwing it in the sink like that. Oh my gosh. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I'm going to be adding it to this bowl. Hope y'all can see what I'm doing. So add it to this bowl. I was just gonna throw it in the sink, like plug the sink in and throw it in the sink, but I don't think that's a good idea. So we're just gonna keep everything contained in the bowl. Just wash. I think I'm gonna have to wash it off in small amount because not everything is gonna be able to fit inside the bowl. I hope you all can see what I am doing. I may have to remove this camera from my tripod. But yeah, let's go ahead. I think this amount is good for now. And I'm just gonna, fill it up with water and then just kind of rinse out the yolk residue. I want to get as much of the residue out as possible. Warm water is okay. So we're going to be working this with 2 hands and then just rinsing everything out. And then I'm going to strain the water. Now the eggshell powder can be stored in, a container with a lid on. It can be stored in a dark place for up to 2 years. So we're gonna make a good amount and then store it in that container, that little jar that I had. And anytime I need to use it, I'm gonna be mixing it with the vinegar to make that solution so I can pour that on the soil of my plants. Let's go ahead and give this a nice wash. It's very, very slimy, but that's to be expected. And as you all can see, I eat a good amount of eggs. All these egg shell cartons tells you how much eggs I eat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and strain this out. Oops. Just a little bit more rinsing. And my method of drying, like I said, I'm gonna pop it in the oven for 15 minutes or so to not only dry it off completely, but also kill any pathogens since we're gonna be storing this. All right, I'm gonna add to the rest of the eggshells. This time I'm just gonna put them in a strainer and then rinse it out under the water, I should say. Whoops. This is a very messy job, y'all. Rinse it out. All right, so I just got done rinsing out the eggshells as best as I can. As you can see, there's still slimy residue, but that's okay because like I said, we are going to be drying it out in the oven, and that's also going to help kill off any pathogens. So the next thing you want to do is just place the eggshells in a baking sheet. So we're just going to be spreading them out. Let me just move this to the side. All right, so just placing it in the baking tray. Be careful not to cut yourself for those who are, who have tender fingers because they are pretty sharp. So just be careful with that. All right. Okay. I'm learning, y'all. This is the first time that I'm making this powder, but I can't wait to use it on my tomatoes. I'm looking forward, we're in December, but I'm looking forward to spring and summer crops, especially tomatoes, because I've never grown tomatoes before, but yeah, that's something that I've always wanted to grow, and then also cucumbers. All right, so now that you have it spread out into in your baking pan, let me just rinse my hand. Okay, so now that you have it in the baking tray, we're going to transfer that in the oven, and we're going to bake it for, I'm going to say we're going to bake it for, you can bake it for 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to leave it in there for 15 minutes. That way everything is completely dry, and then, yeah. So just let it stay there for 15 minutes or so. I've already preheated the oven. It's preheated at 225. So you want to keep the oven between 200 and 225. And then, yeah, we'll see you back in 15 minutes. All right, so my eggshells are done, in the oven. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this took longer than I anticipated. They were in the oven for about almost an hour. Yeah, almost an hour. I know I told y'all 10, 15 minutes, but the reason why mine took so long was because there was just too many eggshells in that small little pan. So it took longer for the eggshells to dry up. And so what I did was I just, every few minutes, I would just smash it, just to break it up into small pieces with my hands. And then I put it back in the oven. And I also had to slightly bring up the temperature because it was just taking too long to dry. But they are finally dry. I did allow that to cool. So it is cool. And what I'm gonna do now is transfer it to the grinder, and then we're gonna turn it into powder. And just transfer that into your container. Just continue to repeat the process until all of your eggshells have been grounded up. And as you can see, I'm throwing some of them away because there was eggs in them, and yeah, I don't want that in my powder. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay. I feel like this is more fine. Just gonna give it one more ground. All right. All right, I'm gonna continue to do this and I'll be right back. All right, so I just got done grounding up my eggshells, and it is now this consistency. The next step that we're going to go over, I'm not going to demonstrate because I'm not going to be needing this solution right now. I just wanted to make a video to show you guys how to make this calcium solution for your plants. You can, some people I've seen, they just kind of sprinkle this in the soil, but the best way to do it is to mix it with vinegar so that it, I guess, forms calcium acetate, if I'm saying it correctly. But yeah, so yeah, and it's that solution, that vinegar and calcium solution, that is what's going to help the soil of your plants to absorb the calcium quicker. So the next step would be to mix this with vinegar. So in a container or jar, you're going to combine the eggshell powder with vinegar, and it's going to be in a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 cup of eggshell powder to 1 cup of vinegar. And then you're going to stir it gently. Okay, the mixture is going to bubble. Like when you're stirring it and stuff, it's going to bubble and it's going to fizz because the calcium carbonate that is in the eggshell is going to react with the vinegar to release some of the calcium ions. All right, so you're going to allow that reaction that it forms, you're going to allow that to complete, and then you're going to cover this with a breathable lid. So you can put like a paper towel over it, or you can put a cloth and then just secure that with a rubber band. and then allow that to sit for 2 to 3 days. Okay. Now, when you're using the solution on your soil, you want to dilute that mixture before applying it to your plant. You can apply 1 tablespoon of the calcium solution per 1 gallon of water. You're going to pour it on the ground, on the soil for your plants. So that would be the best way to add that calcium to your plants. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I am new to gardening. I'm learning. So the things that I'm learning, I'm also passing it along to you guys. All those who are new to gardening, yeah, let's share and let's grow together. Don't forget to check out my previous video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.